FunPop.
FunPop. FunPop.
You don't hear my fan, right?
No, sir, we don't hear your fan. And hey, everybody, welcome to FunPop Podcast, episode number 16. We are live here. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This is the Marvel, DC, pop culture, fun TV show, movie, video games, music, shoes, hair. I don't know. Everything you want it to be, podcast and more. We're going to be having some fun today. Thank you to everybody that hopped in here early in the chat, and we're also going to have some channel members here as well. So thank you to all the channel members. And hey, we have I guess a guest for the podcast this week. So we have our full panel, 3 bits back with FunPop here Wednesday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern is our new time. But we do have a guest, but it doesn't really feel like a guest. We have the spokesperson for Game Pass, the lovely Kaitlin. Hi, Kaitlin. How's it going?
It's so weird to hear you call me Kaitlin.
I know. Hey,
it's
baby.
going good. I just I'm crashing.
Crashing FunPop.
Are you?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
Are you saying that we can pick you up for a low price of $9.99 a month? And if we're a first-time subscriber, pick you up for 3 months for $1?
You sure can.
Wow.
That sounds fantastic.
What a
Where do I
deal.
sign up?
This is crazy. What do we get with that?
Tell us, Game Pass.
Everything.
How many games?
You guys, come on, don't do this to me.
Just
Over
kidding.
100 games.
300.
Get
games.
over 100 games.
I think it's like
get-
even over 400 now. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Hey,
Get lots of cool stuff.
lots of cool stuff. And hey, welcome back, 3-bit. Welcome back to FunPop. One of your homes. We love having you back in your square.
It's been I think I missed like 4 shows, something like that.
Yeah, you just kind of show up when you feel like it, you know. It's okay. It's all right.
You know. But glad to be back. Hello to Jasper and Lupa and the Blue who's in the chat as well. Ready to talk some Loki and some other stuff that's happening right now in the movie industry. And this podcast has always been like a venue for us to talk about other stuff besides our games, but when we feel like talking about games, we do that too. So here I am. Hello.
Absolutely. Hello, Psychonauts. How are you doing today? Are you excited to talk about Marvel, DC, comic books, TV shows, movies, games, shoes, and hair?
Yes, I am very excited. Thanks for having me today.
Someone's on the side just like
Right? Better talk, motherfucker.
Oh,
No.
promote Game Pass.
Yeah, promote Game Pass. I am not paid by Microsoft to repeat the following.
As you're looking down. Microsoft is a very good product. I really like Microsoft.
Yeah.
You know?
I can't believe all these games I get to play. It's just mind-blowing. I don't even know what to do with my time except for play Game Pass.
You have to
And if you're unsure, you can get the first 3 months for only
$1?
$1.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That is a fantastic deal.
Only $1.
Where do I sign up?
You gotta
That
look
is-
like you're reading something. You're like, wow, where do I sign up?
That is incredible. I can't believe the offering of this deal. For just $14.99, it's also including
Yes.
EA Play. Wow. So many EA games to play. And even improving our old games like Doom Eternal, which is in Game Pass today.
Wow.
That just got a free update. And
please read other. Oh, not that part. Oh my god. Game Pass, guys.
And even other features like FPS boost, auto HDR, machine learning, fidelity FX.
We are not paid by Microsoft.
And so much more.
There's
oh shit. Sorry.
Put the notebook down.
All right, Microsoft, send us our check. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Accounts payable too.
Psychonauts 8
Yes, sir.
at Twitter.
Yeah. My address is Nunya.
Nunya.
Nunya, Ohio.
Yeah.
So hopefully the stream is okay, because I see it's a little unstable. It's not bad, but it's like it's dropping up and down a little bit. Shout out to Lupa, Jasper, who we have found out over the last week or so is like a Halo savant.
Yeah.
Right.
And the Blue is hanging out here as well. Shout out. So hopefully everybody is doing well. It's been an interesting week in the world of Marvel.
Wow.
And
I've never seen that emoji. Yeah.
What is that?
I just made it.
Look at the
Look at
visor.
the
Oh man, that one's good.
Whoa, look at the visor.
Look at the visor. So wow. We're gonna talk all about episode 4 and everything that happened in episode 4 of Loki right now.
And only episode 4
and only episode 4.
The one I didn't watch.
Yeah, the one that 3-Bit didn't watch. Now, I don't know if we should ruin this for 3-Bit though.
No, because
No.
I don't think so.
we'll do it again for
spoil
like
me,
we did
yeah.
last time. What, episode 2?
Oh, like
Yeah.
Godzilla when we did I asked you guys like your review, and then you did it without spoiling, and then I watched it and gave my review, sort of thing.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So, Kate actually kind of watched this, which she hasn't watched any of the other ones. So I tried to explain everything to her that has gone on so far, and I realized I
You
sound like
guys,
a crazy person.
he was following me around the house everywhere I went,
Yeah,
explaining this shit to me.
I wouldn't leave her alone.
Like he was literally following me.
Because I found out she was willing to watch it. And when
No,
I found that
well,
out,
I asked you to come downstairs and watch a movie with me, and you came down. You're like, "You have any interest in watching Loki?" I was like, we can watch it, because I just wanted to spend time with you, but all you cared about was Loki.
I cared
Just
about
wants the
sharing
experience.
the experience with the
Yeah.
woman that I love.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just wanted you to experience Loki with him.
Okay, so he explained it all to me. I didn't really retain any of it. And then I watched it, and it was like exactly what I thought it would be, but even worse.
Oh no. All right. Let's see. Let's hear your review. I want to hear everybody's review, but since you're bringing it up, so what did you think it was going to be, and how did it fit your expectation?
I thought it was going to be like more modern and earthy, and it was just like medievally and dark. And
Was episode 4 the only thing you watched?
yeah.
Okay, so then the other 3 episodes were a little bit different. This one was a little bit dark, and because where they were at.
Yeah, and there wasn't enough Owen Wilson in it for me.
First two
yeah.
episodes were very
Is it-
heavy on the Owen.
Is it good now?
He started finding me before.
Did he? Okay. I
Yeah,
just have trouble.
but,
Like his voice is just a little quiet. So
I don't know. It wasn't for me. It wasn't my thing.
no.
Yeah.
I had a feeling that would be the case, but that's when you don't
But
start
you said
it.
you didn't. Isn't that the one you said you thought I would like?
Yeah, but especially the first two episodes. So
Yeah.
I think it's hard to get into a series like midway through, especially one that's had such an arc like this. You know.
Yeah, it was just weird. I don't know.
Yeah,
What were you
'cause
saying,
it
3-bit?
takes play something else.
Am I good now?
Yeah, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, based on what Kate was saying, like medieval and stuff like that, that's not the first two episodes at all. So I'm wondering, I don't know what the heck is going on in episode 4.
I mean, I could be wrong in that term. That's just a term I use a lot for things I don't like.
I mean, but when we were talking about this show before, like one thing you didn't like about the previous stories, right, was probably the I don't know, like he's in Asgard.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm.
Okay, watch one more episode. Watch the first one, because it's nothing like that, and you get a lot more Owen Wilson. Like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
If you watch one more, then and you still have the same opinion, then okay, for sure. But
Yeah, I agree.
it's I don't know what episode 4 is like, but I bet you, because the previous episode before that, Kate, was very much like a bridge episode. Like it was more like leading up to whatever happens in that episode, I'm guessing. So I don't know. It's probably like a weird one to jump into, but I haven't watched it, so I couldn't tell you. But
Yeah.
they seem to agree with me. They're shaking their heads.
Yeah, 100%. Like the setting changes quite a bit in this show, right?
Yeah.
And because they go for different times, different planets, even, you know, all that kind of stuff, right? So, like at the end of episode 3, they leave you hanging in the middle of an apocalypse where, like, literally there's like a moon crashing into a planet or something like that, right? And like there's that, but then episode 1 and 2 had none of that, right? So I agree. I think she would be more into episode 1 or 2. With Psychonauts, 3-bit, I'm sure wants to hear your thoughts on episode 4 and give us an episode 4 reaction and review.
Well, see, so I don't.
We did this
By
before,
you watching
Psycho.
by you watching episode 3, you kind of see where they left off at. So that has a little bit of what's in episode 4, but it like there's like an arc that transpires that you kind of I don't want to ruin the episode for you, but some happens with that kind of has a an understanding of what's up with the TVA, and you're like, so it like now it's like, oh, it gets even deeper. There's like, all right, what's going on? What's behind everything? What if what happened with episode 4? Now, where does this go for this storyline? Because how that episode 4 ended, you're just like, oh shit. Like, bro, I'm like, seriously, you have to watch it.
You can't guess it.
No.
You can't guess it.
I didn't even see that happening. I was just like, holy crap. All right.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this? Like, all right, it's getting good now. So yeah, definitely. And same thing with Kate. You know, if Kate watches episode 1 and 2, I think she definitely will have a liking for the Loki series, and because it's more it doesn't go into that like what she said, like the barbarian style type, like Asgard and things like that.
Mhm.
So it's more grounded, more so it's like not futuristic, but it's, you know, it's like, okay, this is what the TV is about. This is what they do, and you kind of see what transpires and how they handle business, and
Yeah.
you know why these events are happening, and what happened, and this is what they do to correct the fractures of the timeline. And so this definitely, there's an arc that you see, and it's just like, man, I can't even say it because like I'm like, no, what just happened? I'm like, no.
I
There's
feel like
two
we
things.
should do this like every week. Like I just don't watch it, and then you guys just give me the review for it, and then I, ask you guys, because I'm sure like people who are watching too probably.
Your stream crashed.
Oh no!
Did it?
Did it crash?
Yep.
Can you refresh it? Because it says I'm connected.
Let's see.
Oh no!
It's live for me. Let me see. How old it? Oh yeah, we're live. We're live.
Yeah, I think it did like drop for a second.
It definitely crashed because it took me straight into one of Boom's podcasts.
That's weird.
Really?
Yeah.
But it's live. Are we live? Is there any viewers out there can tell me if we're live?
And when I click on the video, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's live for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're just gonna keep rolling with it because I can tell there's some instability going on right now. But if I try and fix that, like we could potentially just it keeps cutting out and coming back.
It just cut out again for me.
Okay. I think it may be
Pong said YouTube problems.
YouTube problems.
So I wonder if it's going on other shows.
Yeah, it's a weird problem because it's not like the other ones that I usually have had in the past.
Yeah, I see what it does. Like sometimes it cuts to black,
which is really weird.
Back. Yeah, I've never seen that before.
Well,
but what I can say about the episode is that you learn more about other characters, and you find out not who's behind the TVA, but you find out certain elements of the TVA that are very interesting and definitely bring up it's a plot twist that, like Mav and I said, we did not even see coming. So it's something that you have probably after the stream or later tonight, watch it, and then you'll probably be like, oh my god. It's freaking, it's good.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say when we have like these low-key sort of sessions, like if I don't watch the previous episode, and then we sort of do this weird review thing where I ask you guys what your thoughts where I'm probably gonna catch up for sure next week, but it's interesting in this format because I'm taking it from the perspective of probably some of the people watching who hasn't seen the latest episode, but they probably have seen the other ones. But
right.
Yeah, based on what you guys are telling me, it seems like it's definitely a change of pace from the other episodes. It seems like based on what you guys are telling me, it takes it in a crazy turn of the events. Probably a little bit more backstory, I'm guessing, based on what you guys are telling me.
I'll say from my perspective, 3-bit.
Okay.
That this episode is extremely satisfying. And finding out questions that you've had that have built up over the first 3 episodes. The first 3 episodes are completely a lead up to this moment. And I don't think anybody has any clue or possibility or any way of knowing where this is going to go from here. Because everything that we know that about the first 3 episodes, I don't even know if it matters anymore. now we're in a different we're in a different situation now. And with this new situation, I think it's just making you ask questions about what's to come instead of what has happened.
Yeah.
So the possibilities for me right now is the most exciting thing about this, because the possibilities after this are endless, where this is going. And there's some interesting like interviews out there with like the actress that plays
Sylvia.
no, not the Loki, the one. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want to spoil anything, because if I tell you who the interview was with, it could make you even start to think about this, and I don't want to make you even think about this. Okay. There's interview with this actress that plays a very important character in this series that I think has elevated themselves into another level of importance after this series, after this episode, where you thought, okay, this is an interesting character here. They play a role. Now this character is, okay, it's very, very important role. And there's an interview out there that has some interesting tidbits with some possibilities that lead into things that are going to impact the MCU forever. And that's the thing about these shows. So we keep talking about this, right? Like if you've been invested in any of the movies and you care about watching the movies going forward, now you could say this is a downside, but for me personally, I love it. That I think it can become vital to watch these shows. And that's Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That goes for WandaVision. And that also, after this episode, 100% for sure goes for Loki.
That's kind of weird that like
different.
It follows the movies and everything, like you said, like you almost have to watch the shows.
Yeah, this definitely leads up to the events coming within this phase 4 and 5, and who knows, even possibly 6 of whatever because we had we had Thanos and Endgame for last phase 1, 2, and 3. So this definitely is gonna lead up to the events that are coming soon to come, and the characters from this definitely have a role.
I feel like it came at a pretty good time, because after Endgame, people are wondering like, oh, where is Marvel gonna go? That's literally the best they could probably do, and it came at a good time because of the stories they can now explore, but also because of COVID, and everybody's sort of stuck in their house, and these are like TV shows that people could watch in like a streaming service as well.
Okay, so this is like the shows and all the different movies, like not just Avengers, but like the separate ones also. Like it's all connected. Like, you know, like Black Panther.
More so like you are definitely rewarded if you watched all the movies, because they make little hints to all of them. But like if you watch specifically like the main ones, like for Loki so far, like Avengers 1, because they make a lot of references to the first Avengers movie.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watched Endgame, then that one is pretty good too.
Is there going to be more of these shows come out?
Oh yeah.
Like not new episodes, but like different ones based on. Okay, so and will they all be like exclusively on Disney Plus?
Yeah.
Was this all just like years in the making, big marketing ploy thing to get people to sign up for Disney Plus?
Maybe
Could be.
It could have.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pretty smart.
Because
It
people
is.
like y'all that love that whole universe and everything probably like feel like I couldn't miss this show.
Yeah, I would not have Disney Plus if it wasn't for mostly the Marvel material. But
So
then
it
they-
worked on you.
And the
did.
Mandalorian. Yeah.
and Mandalorian. Yeah.
Mandalorian.
Otherwise, I would not have Disney Plus at all.
Yeah.
But they're quality shows too. It's not just like filler story that you need to feel like for canon, right? That you have to know.
Yeah, I'm not saying
But
it's
it's-
not quality, but
right.
like how many people are there just like 3-bit that would not have it if it wasn't for those things
lot.
specifically?
I know a lot of
Oh,
people
yeah.
that was talking trash about it when it first came out, like me. And then I
Yeah.
got it.
Before like Mandalorian really came out, I'm like, what am I gonna really watch with Disney Plus other than, cool, I can watch like the Star Wars and the Marvel movies, I mean, that's cool. But when I'm done, like I've already seen them, so what's gonna keep me going? And so far it's been the Mandalorian and WandaVision and Falcon Winter Soldier and now Loki, and then the future What If and She-Hulk and Moon Knight and all these other shows that are coming that are going to definitely tie into to the MCU universe.
Yeah.
And they marketing ploy, I mean, they definitely if that's what they did,
But I mean, it's genius.
they definitely got the comic book fans
Yeah, for
to
sure.
subscribe to it. And then you have like other stuff. They put out other Disney movies for kids and
Yeah.
families and things like that. So you're getting like, so both spectrums. So you can get in the young to adult crowd that don't have families with the Mandalorian and Loki and all these and the movies that are coming out, but also with families too.
Yep.
So it's smart.
It's
and,
something for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely like where they're going with it, because watching these first episodes of Loki, and especially with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, like WandaVision is definitely going to set up, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange too, the multiverse of madness. So it's just like, okay, like where's this story going to go? And then this talks about the multiverse, which other like movies and even WandaVision kind of just touched on. So now we're getting an immersion of what the Nexus is and what the multiverse is. So it's definitely good.
And with the rumors of who the villain may be in the new Ant-Man movie that's coming as well, there's people that are thinking this show has lead up ties to that as well. So,
And I think it's with Disney Plus, because when it first came out, I was like, this is just Disney movies, and this is before I knew about the Star Wars and all this other stuff. And I was like, okay, if it's just Disney movies, I don't want this service. Just like me personally, like I don't know, I'm not like a huge Disney stan. Like I love Disney movies. I grew up with like some Disney movies, but not enough to pay whatever the asking price was. But over time, when they started adding like more Star Wars stuff, more Marvel stuff, like then they got me, because I love Marvel.
Yeah.
And I love Star Wars. So it's like a good mixture of, because you already know, like the people I teach at, they love Disney, and they're like religiously like love just like watch only Disney stuff, and that's like such that's a pretty big market, a pretty big crowd. But then you also get the people who are like, I don't really care about like Frozen or Cars or whatever, right? Get the people who love that stuff. Then you get like people who love Star Wars, and Star Wars is already like has a huge fan base. And it added that, and then Marvel, it's like its own whole thing as well. So it's kind of it's pretty good, like idea adding all that stuff in there.
Yeah, I think especially with the Marvel stuff has made them even more vital. It just
they've really done a great job like adding so much stuff on there. There's like so many old movies and even shows that like I forgot about that I loved. I just really want them to please add the original Bug Juice.
Was that Disney?
Yes.
That was Disney? Wow.
Yep.
Even like the Mighty Duck show, you know.
The Mighty Duck show is very good.
Yeah, I like how they added a lot of the Disney Channel shows that I watched as a kid too. Like, I don't know if anybody's watched like 13th Year. I think it's called. This dude is like a mermaid.
Merman 3-bit.
Yeah, merman. This like I forgot about stuff like
that.
Like
all the I've watched like almost all the Disney Channel original movies.
Yeah.
Like every Halloween, I watch like is it called Halloween Town?
Halloween Town.
I'm pretty sure.
And
there's like Halloween Town High.
There's some good stuff. Or like other like Twitches or
oh yeah, I love Twitches.
Smart House.
Smart House, yep.
Smart House. Yeah. All those stuff I forgot about. It's nice to have on there, but again, if it was just that stuff, I don't know if I would have had the streaming service, but it has that stuff that I used to love as a kid, and then it has a bunch of stuff on top of it. So it's kind of hard to cancel now. HBO Max, I cancel. Even though it has amazing stuff on there, I like wait for the movies, enacted, like more.
Suicide Squad will be on there.
That's when I will enact it again.
Yeah, that'll also be at theaters.
Yeah, HBO Max is cool, but it doesn't have enough to keep you drawn in. Like just with Disney Plus, you having movies coming out, and then you have TV shows coming out. You know, I mean, look, I got right here. You have What If, Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, and that's I think that's it for this year.
Is Miss Marvel a show or a movie?
Show.
That's a show, I believe. Yeah.
That's going to be a show about.
That's crazy. Wow.
No,
I think she's gonna probably be in after the show. I mean, maybe she'll be in the movies or get her own movie. You know, like who knows?
He looks exactly like they did a good job of doing her costume.
Kamala Khan. Yeah. So yeah, with these shows, especially like on Disney Plus, because of MCU and how tied everything is, right? Like I feel like Star Wars has like the main like Skywalker saga, and then there's like these side stories that they keep telling, right? It's kind of like what I want them to do with Halo, where I want them to be the main saga and I want them to tell these like side stories here and there, but they just don't do it for some reason, except for books and things like that. They do, but they don't have enough other stuff, right? But like MCU doesn't really have the side stuff. Everything is the main line, right? It's just that everything is the main line, but there's so many different stories that are all a part of the same universe of storytelling, but it's all on a sequence, right? So you can go and individually watch any one of these movies, and it's great as a standalone. You can go to the movies, never have seen an MCU movie before, and you can watch it and be like, oh, that was really cool. That was fun. I really like that. And completely walk away with it like happy and content. But then they somehow make that sustainable as a standalone, but also equally vital and important to the whole timeline.
Yeah.
Which is how do they do that? You know what I mean? Because it's pretty impressive to have it be both, right?
They made so like characters I don't really care about Loki. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Like the character Loki, I didn't really care for, and then I watched this show. I'm like, okay, I like the direction they're going with it, because like I don't know, he's just one of those characters. I'm like, okay, it works pretty good as a show, not really as a movie, whatever. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, it's cool. You're starting to explore elements of this character I didn't even think about. And something Marvel is really good at is taking these characters that people don't really think about too much, or maybe they're not as popular, and then building them up to importance. And we've seen that with Guardians of the Galaxy, right? I hated those books. I thought those books were written poorly. The movies are amazing. Love the movies, and then they made it so I actually care about even the newer comics that are coming out. Believe it or not, it's hard for people to go back to this mindset because now he's such a big character. But Iron Man was not that big of a character. Now he's like one of the faces of the MCU.
Yeah.
I know it's a weird thing to think about now because he's so popular now. I even compare like Iron Man, Spider-Man, whatever, like one of the big three, Captain America, right? But when he first was a character, he was not that big, and his comics did not sell very well comparatively to like a Spider-Man or some of the Avenger books. He was just one of those characters that people are like, I don't think that would work well in a movie. Now look at it, like people love Iron Man, right? So Marvel is really good at taking these characters and just making it so it's important. I think DC does this thing where they are trying to either copy the Marvel formula or do their own separate thing, and they have two of those separate like philosophies, and that's why
at the same time. Yeah.
At the same time, and so it's confusing for audiences when they're like, oh, I'm gonna watch the Joker, like, and then they watch Suicide Squad, and they're like, oh, is that the same Joker? No, okay, it's a different universe. Okay, so that's why I was looking forward to the Snyderverse, because that's the one thing where
it was supposed
feels
to be
connected.
And I think those are identifiable as these are supposed to be connected, where the other stuff maybe not, but the Snyderverse felt very tied, right?
Yeah, it's the most tied thing we have right now in the DC universe. And they're sort of still building on that. That's where it's confusing. Like they're still sort of using those characters for like other things, but at the same time they're also doing their own side projects. That's where it's really confusing. Like the characters in say the Flash movie, it's going to be a whole new Batman in that movie, and they pretty much are trying to explain multi-universes and stuff like that. Then you have Aquaman 2, and all those characters are in the Snyderverse. But then you have the Batman movie, which is totally separate from the the Justice League. So it's just, I don't know. That's why I have such a problem with DC, because of them not connecting their universes. I know it's a different strategy. Because they do that, though, they do have a pro of they can kind of experiment.
Yeah, more freedom.
They are a lot more free than Marvel, for sure. Marvel has basically a pretty big expectation of connecting these stories, and now people always expect, when a Marvel movie comes out, I'm expecting it to link up to Avengers or whatever in the past, right? So they do have that problem, but so far they are killing it.
Yeah,
they are absolutely killing it. So they do reward you for watching those movies, but you can also watch it separately if you desire, because they kind of explain what's relevant, what's important. So good stuff.
Yeah, man. I think that
thank you, Sai.
For me personally, I prefer and we've said this numerous times, I prefer the MCU method, just because it adds weight to everything that you watch. It adds importance, right? So like, if you watch something, even like Loki now, like I can't imagine personally, like not knowing what I know going into watching any future MCU movies now, right? And that goes with Falcon and the Winter Soldier, where we saw Sam Wilson become Captain America and everything that he went through personally with the internal struggle for that to happen, right? where we saw WandaVision and her become full-fledged Scarlet Witch, embracing even the name, right? And new characters introduced like Agatha Harkness, right? And new characters introduced like the fake Cap.
Oh, Agatha was great.
You know, and like the whole thing with WandaVision's kids, right?
Yeah.
With the thing with Vision becoming like White Vision now, and all of that stuff happening, right? Like he's gonna show up again, and all of a sudden he's gonna be this flying White Vision, and if you haven't seen that show, you're not gonna know why. You know what I mean?
That's something Kate sort of hinted on, was like, wouldn't that be bad for the people watching the movies, because like maybe they don't want to watch the shows? I know Kate was sort of hinting at
right,
that.
yeah, and that's the downside, right? That's the one downside, is that it does kind of force you, and if you really care about it, to watch these. But that's only for the people that care the most about the story, because I think you can go and watch any MCU movie and they still stand alone by themselves as a great movie. And that's what I was going with this, is like, how do they do that? Because it is like they achieve both somehow, where it's like, for the people that really invested in it, it gives everything that you want with the time, with knowing that, wow, this is crazy. How is this going to affect everything? Oh my gosh, is that like related to something that happened back like in this movie? Like and all of these things are true. But you can just go and watch the movie and be like, oh, that was cool. You know, cool explosions, you know, like fun characters, you know, that was funny, you know, ha ha ha. You know, like they still make it an enjoyable experience as a standalone. And guess what? They bring in people with each one, because there's so many different genres. Even in these shows, there's different genres to hook different kinds of people in. And then they get invested. And then it's like, okay, now I have access with Disney Plus. The other thing is, it is a benefit too, because if you, let's say the downside, right, is that, hey, you have to go check out Disney Plus to catch one of these stories. Well, the benefit is, if you do check out one of these stories and you like it on Disney Plus, you have the whole suite there available to watch, right? They even have it in timeline order, right? They have different categories. You can watch it in timeline order. You can watch it in release order.
Like playlists or something.
Yeah, they have it there in the category.
They actually have that in MCC as well. You can literally play all the Halos from beginning to end in a playlist. I think that's still a thing, right?
I believe so.
I think so.
And I wonder, gosh, not even Netflix has that stuff. Like, that's pretty cool. Like a cool Disney Plus feature. And also being able to watch it with friends, even though it doesn't seem to work. Still a cool feature. You know, I have not been able to get that to work with anybody, but I like the idea.
Yeah. I just, man, the way that Loki ended is just like, dude, I just can't believe they went all those places in episode 4. How many episodes are there of Loki?
6.
Okay, the last two episodes, man, it's like we're gonna, because this felt like it could have been like the last episode. You know what I mean?
It kind of felt like that when the world was freaking ending, the third one.
Yeah, well, this one, like, because of the amount of questions that get answered here. Like, I could have watched this and they ended it like that, and then they said, like, season 2 coming, like, next year, and I would have been like, oh, wow, okay. You know, like, that, like, they could have done that with how they, like, it just felt that way for me. But now, like, you know that there's, like, this, man, it's like, there's just, yeah, I maybe you'll see, you know, after you watch. Kate.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna watch it before I go to sleep tonight.
Kate probably doesn't even know exactly why I'm saying some of this stuff, because she hasn't seen the first few episodes, right? So, but like it just answers so many questions, but then leads to so many possibilities, dude. Speaking of possibilities, The Simpsons is also getting in on the Loki craze, because when, you know, this whole Fox thing happened with Disney, and they got Fox, and The Simpsons are a part of that deal. It's like, hey, you know, it's interesting. Like, they're gonna keep it going. It's on Disney Plus. And now we're getting a Simpsons crossover with Loki and Marvel characters and stuff. That seems pretty cool. Have y'all seen anything about that today?
No.
What? Sorry,
So-
I was having a conversation with Rain in the chat.
Yeah, I'm watching y'all's conversation.
Yeah, we lived in the same fucking city growing up, so it's like kind of mind blowing.
Oh, really?
What?
Wow.
Yeah,
That's crazy,
he lived
dude.
like blocks down from me, so
That's crazy.
I
Wow.
don't know.
Okay,
Oh.
so Disney owns Marvel and they own
Fox.
Simpsons, Fox,
Oh.
right? So
Yeah, I did see that.
The Simpsons is getting a Loki crossover. So they're
Yeah.
doing a new
Simpsons
short.
Getting a Loki
Yeah.
crossover.
I'm going to
Yeah.
read this. This is from
this
CNN
real?
Entertainment.
This is a thing.
This is a thing. Building on the buzz created from its Simpsons Star Wars team up, Disney Plus announced on Wednesday its next short will bring the beloved Loki into the animated world of The Simpsons. And you got to see the cover art. The cover art is pretty sick. Kate, it's on the thumbnail. The Marvel themed short will premiere on Disney Plus on July 7th, so it's coming soon.
I sent you the picture in case you wanted to put it up on the stream.
Oh, did you? Let me see.
I sent it to your Twitter a little bit ago. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, you're fine. Here is the picture. You got Iron Man here. You got Ant-Man. You got Black Widow. You got Hawkeye, Vision, Hulk, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Nick Fury, Thor, and Loki.
It's so weird seeing like the Disney logo
It is.
underneath Simpsons.
It's called The Simpsons,
Bart?
The Good, The Bart, and The Loki. And it's a short. I don't know how long it's going to be. It says Tom Hiddleston will voice Loki in the short.
Yeah, well, if it was the episode with what was it? Star Wars with the Simpsons with Maggie?
Yeah. How long was that one?
I think that was like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Possibly about that. It was literally a short.
Yeah, it'll probably be similar to that. I just think things like this are cool, like with possibilities. How many kids are going to probably watch this, right, and be like, "Oh, cool,"
Reminds
all these
me
superheroes.
of Star Wars and Family Guy crossover. That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
Yeah, like what was it? Blue Harvest was the first one.
The Family Guy.
Yeah, Blue Harvest, and
That was
then
the
it
first
was
They made like 2 of them, I think, right?
3. They made all 3 of the trilogies, the original trilogies. Blue Harvest was A New Hope, and then it was Empire Strikes. I forget what they were called, but yeah, there were just 3.
Yeah, Blue Harvest. Yeah, I just had the box, so I never looked at it. I have the box that says "Laugh It Up, Fuzzball," the Family Guy trilogy. So I never paid attention to like the
Oh,
things, but yeah, it's kind of like that. It's really weird seeing like Disney over Simpsons because of the humor in Simpsons just doesn't match anything Disney has. That's why it's so weird sometimes with different acquisitions. But awesome. I think this is a cool crossover. Why not? Right? It's awesome.
yeah. They could do lots of different fun things. I like crossovers. I don't mind when they put all these characters in Fortnite and stuff, because like you get to see like stuff you never saw before. Like Captain
It's always weird
America
when someone has a
chasing
problem,
Master
like,
Chief.
why are you adding characters to my game? It's like it's weird to me. And Paul says something Dark Side was the third.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that name.
Something Dark Side.
Was that one of the names of the?
The trilogy.
Okay.
Yeah, did you see that, Matt?
Mm-mm.
So
Oh,
they,
good.
it's funny.
Great.
So
Was it Family Guy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Family Guy teamed up with I guess it was Fox, right? Family Guy is on Fox. or
Yeah,
something.
Family Guy is a
Yeah.
Fox show.
So they did all 3 of the original Star Wars movies, but in a parody.
Oh my gosh, how did I miss this?
Yeah, you can pull it up if you can find. Maybe I can find a picture. Maybe Kate can find it. It has it just does all the original movies, but in a parody way. It's actually pretty funny.
Are they available anywhere on streaming?
It was on Hulu for a little bit. I don't know about now. Yeah, I'll put some pictures up while you guys are. I can find some.
Yeah, somehow I missed out on Family Guy Star Wars. I don't know how.
Bro.
All said Hulu. Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was on Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu has them.
Oh, right on. How long are they each? Like 30-minute
An
episodes?
And maybe
It's
an
like
hour?
an hour. Like
Yeah.
it was like a movie. It's supposed to be like
Yeah.
a movie.
There's 3
It was
hour-long episodes of Family Guy that are Star Wars?
Yeah,
I think so. Yeah,
yeah.
its acts are like ridiculous.
Who's Darth
Yeah.
Vader? Peter?
I think-
Steve.
I thought it was Stewie.
Stewie. I mean,
That makes
what did I say,
sense.
Stevie?
Yeah, Stewie.
Steve.
Stevie.
Stewie.
45 minutes. Steve.
Steve.
45 minutes? Wow.
Giggity,
Okay.
giggity.
Giggity, giggity. Oh yeah.
All right, I put some pictures in the.
Yeah.
So who's Luke Skywalker?
Brian. Or not Brian. The son.
Yeah, I don't know.
Isn't
Chris.
Brian the
Hey,
dog?
Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dad. Yeah.
Hey,
And
Dad.
then Brian was Chewbacca. And I think
Here, I put
and
it
then
in the.
Peter was Han Solo.
Chris.
You see the picture I put up in the Twitter DMs.
Why don't you love me anymore? I can't do it. Okay.
You did it really good the other night.
No, that was
Oh, okay. Wow.
Marty McFly.
Hey, guys.
And then
that's-
and Meg was fucking Jabba the Hutt. So
It's just so funny.
Oh, really?
I
yeah,
was just gonna ask who she was.
fucking Jabba.
Shut up, man. Yeah.
That's amazing, dude. Okay.
I think
gotta-
You have
even
something to watch, babe. I'll watch it with you.
You watch this with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh my
You-
god.
Okay, no,
I'll
I'm
watch
not. Hold on.
this.
Wait a fucking second. No. No.
He's like, no.
This is not going to be your first fucking foray into Star Wars.
Maybe it'll make me want to watch the movies though.
You're right. I'll take anything. Okay. We have a date.
Watching some Family Guy because it makes a lot of references into the movies, but I think it might be an interesting introduction. If you watch this
Joe-
first, oh my gosh,
was
Family
Joe
Guy,
Jabba?
and then Star Wars.
Paul says Joe was Jabba. I thought Meg was Jabba.
There was 3. Maybe they switched it.
Yeah.
He said Meg is always a creature with no speaking.
Yeah, they have, and then Leia.
Was
Oh,
the
Leia
mom.
was
Leia's the mom.
Lois.
Yeah.
Fucking Lois.
Why is
What?
Brian?
Sorry.
What the fuck?
Did you just say
Uh,
fucking Lois?
He likes
No, like-
that.
I was like, fucking Lois.
Oh,
Yeah, fucking, she's a hot mom. What the fuck?
you Lowe's fan?
I'm a motherfucker.
Jasper says Meg was the trash monster in Blue Harvest. Okay, I gotta see this.
Oh, that's hilarious.
yeah.
Timmy said, I think Meg was the worm creature.
With the one eye in the trash compactor. Nice.
So this would make me think that this is like a dream that Chris is having if he's making his sister like some evil creature the whole time.
You just gotta watch it.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna
Yeah.
definitely can't believe I missed it.
Yeah, dude.
When
those
did this
came
come
like
out?
decade ago.
Yeah, wow.
You know
10
what?
years ago.
We had a kid 10 years ago. We were busy.
It came out 2010.
Yeah.
Well, at least
2010?
this. Mhm. At least
See.
this box did, the trilogy box. It might
Oh
have
my
been earlier,
God,
like probably like
stop.
20.
Release date December 21st, 2010.
Yeah, that's what, see
No,
that's the box. I'm wondering if it probably was even earlier.
it was 2000. It was September 23rd, 2007, when Blue Harvest was first aired on. It was season 6, episode 1. Was
So
when that
2007.
2007.
And then they made the trilogy box for it.
Yeah,
later.
and then they came out with the other ones later.
Wow.
Some
Okay.
time has passed.
Are they so what they need to do now is they need to do the prequels and the new Star Wars movies.
Yeah, but Seth Green, I don't think he likes the prequels in this.
Yeah, I know. That's why they can have even
So
more fun with
he's
it.
like, fuck those things.
What's up,
It
Cam?
might
How's it
be
going?
easier to make fun of the newer movies.
Hey, Timmy. Hey, Paul. Rain.
Um,
The Hellboy.
Hey, Elk, dude, we're talking about Family Guy, Star Wars.
Which I can't believe I've never seen.
What
Yeah.
the fuck y'all are talking about?
Yeah, the Family Guy, Star Wars movies. Which
Yeah, we went down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So let's go to Transformers.
Okay.
but wait, first, did you guys know there was like a Snake Eyes movie coming out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that looks good.
it does look really good. I'm liking who's directing that movie. Whoever's directing it, it looks pretty dang good so far.
Ooh, and there was the new Shang-Chi trailer. I finally saw that.
Oh, bro.
Oh my gosh, dude.
They have the
Did you see
Abomination.
the ending?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was crazy, dude. The Shang-Chi looks awesome. I can't wait for all this stuff.
Oh, did you see that Jasper said they did the Die Hard trilogy for the Cleveland show?
Oh really? I didn't
Really?
see that one. That sounds
Yeah.
pretty funny.
What,
Mhm.
Die Hard, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to watch that. Was
Hey, Peter.
was Cleveland
Yeah, who's
Sorry.
was
Yeah.
Cleveland was he, what's his name? Danny Glover?
Die hard, die fast.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha, 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 ha.
Ha, ha, ha.
Hey, Peter.
Sound like
Ada.
who's that singer?
Hey, Peter.
Is it Aaron Neville?
Yeah.
No.
Who?
Love the cocoa butter. Ha, 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 ha.
Yeah, it's Aaron Neville.
That reminds me of what is
Oh
it?
gosh, this is great. This is great. I gotta send you guys this picture. I didn't know this existed. It's pretty awesome.
Seagulls from you watch that short. It was Yoda, and he was talking about going down the beach and getting attacked by seagulls.
By what?
No.
Seagulls. Oh my god, dude, it's hilarious.
It's called Die
Since we're on
Semi Heart.
Since we're on
It's
the
called
Oh
show.
my
what?
gosh.
It's called Die Semi Heart.
Die semi-hard.
That's the name of it.
Okay.
Babe.
We'll have to watch that. Die semi-hard tonight, babe. Are we gonna watch that first or the Star Wars trilogy?
Ha, ha, ha.
You pick.
Okay.
You have to pick.
What do you pick?
I picked the Star Wars trilogy. I remember the Cleveland show. All right, baby.
All right, go ahead.
What?
Transformers. More than
Oh.
meets the eye. Autobots race to fight the evil forces of the Decepticons. All right, so
Almost
Nerd.
robots in
robots in
disguise.
disguise.
We have another Transformers movie coming. And I'm kind of like, all right, so this is going to be something that's going to make Beast Wars fans really happy, right? Because it is involving those, it's going to get those characters in the mix. So what's the name of the freaking movie again? Rise of the Beast.
Rise of the Beast.
Yeah, Rise of the Beast. And so the question I have is the thing that I'm not understanding, because there's two Optimus Primes in this. Okay, there's Optimus Prime, which is Peter Cullen, and there's Optimus Primal, which is the Beast Wars Optimus Prime, that is going to be voiced by Ron Perlman, which I'm completely fine with that. Although I have seen that other people are upset that the Optimus Primal actual Beast Wars voice actor is not playing him.
Where is he at?
I don't know. But I guess Ron Perlman has done Optimus Prime stuff before. So, irrelevant to that, I'm glad Peter Cullen is Optimus Prime. Personally, I don't care who's going to be Optimus Primal. But the question I have, so this is like kind of mixing in Beast Wars, right? But it's like a follow-up to Bumblebee, but a prequel to the other Transformers movies.
Yeah.
So it's like filling in between Bumblebee and the Michael Bays, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm wondering, is it going to be more Bumblebee style, or is it going to be more Bay style? And that question will either elevate my excitement or lower it, right? Because if it's more like Bumblebee, I am super happy, right? Because they had like the Gen 1 style characters in there. They had like good storytelling. It was more of just a good story overall, right? It felt more like it had captured, like, I don't know, the heart of what Transformers actually is, as opposed to just like the other movies. I think the first Transformers movie was pretty good, right? The first Michael Bay one. I really liked that when I first saw it, but at the same time, I was just so happy that there was a fucking live action Transformers movie, right? That it kind of maybe clouded my judgment a little bit, but I liked the third one as well. It was a dark side of the moon or whatever. I can't remember the name of it, but what I hope is that they get this right, because I have hope for this franchise, Transformers movies, on the big screen, right? I am a Transformers guy. It was my favorite cartoon when I was a kid, right? It was my favorite toy when I was a kid. I didn't really like Beast Wars that much, but Transformers, yes. Movie, amazing. Back then, the animated one, like, incredible. What are the hopes for this Transformers entry? That's what I
Can I read y'all something real quick?
Yeah, baby.
It says that you guys might find interesting. It says the original voice for Optimus Primal in the Beast Wars animated series was Gary Chalk.
Yeah.
But Ron Perlman was the Optimus Primal voice actor in the animated series Transformers Power of the Primes. So it's actually a return to the character for him.
Yeah. This, I think, how it's being staged. Like, I don't think it's like the actual Optimus Prime being Optimus Primal. I think it kind of makes it weird. Like, so they're gonna go from the events after Bumblebee, they're gonna be now animals, and then go back to being vehicles at the end of this, per se, for the Michael Bay's Transformers. So I don't know how they're going to, because like if they're gonna have Peter Cullen voice acting Optimus Prime, but also have Ron Perlman doing Optimus Primal, like, so that tells me there's two characters, kind of like Rodimus Prime took over when Optimus died in the 85 or 84 animated movie. So it could be another maybe an Optimus that takes over, or something along the lines.
Yeah, so that's what confuses me too, because this is like,
they don't say too much in the article that I'm reading, because I looked at a bunch of stuff, And this one at GameSpot's article, the movie's already begun. It's coming out next summer. So it's not that far away. It's only a year away. It takes place in New York City and Brooklyn. So it's kind of weird because they're gonna, have the Maximals with Optimus Primal is gonna be an ape, Air Razor's a bird, and then Rhinox is a rhinoceros. So it's like, are they like crash land at the Bronx Zoo and they transform? Like, how is this story setting up? So
Well, I don't know how there's two primes. There's Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. Does that happen in Beast Wars? Like, because I never really was into Beast Wars. Like, I tried watching it at times, but it looked so bad. Like, for me, like trying to watch it, like it was just like, oh, cool, it's computer generated, but wow, this looks rough, like.
But they did say that they're going away from the actual animated series storyline. So this is like its own entity. So it doesn't even it's not even taking anything from the TV shows. So take the TV shows and throw them out the window. It's pretty much what they said. So it's this whole new thing that they're doing with animals. I don't know. It's weird because they really don't go in depth what the plot is, what really is going on, how Optimus Primal is who he is, but still have Optimus Prime. I don't know.
I read something about it taking place in the 90s or something.
Yeah, it takes place in 1994. Rise of the Beast sets in 94, placing it 7 years after the events of Bumblebee and a long time before Michael Bay's first Transformer movie.
Which was what year? In 2010, 10 maybe? Anybody remember what year Transformers came out? The first one?
The first one?
Because that's probably what year it was set in, right? Whatever that is. 2007. That's only 12 years, right? Difference between, or 13 years. So 1994. And we know Bumblebee was in the 80s, right? So Bumblebee was in the 80s. This is set in the mid 90s. And then Transformers is set in 2007, which don't we remember like Optimus Prime and them landing on Earth in 2007, right?
Well, I don't think we saw Prime landing. I know we saw like who was it, Jazz and Ironside or Ironhide and all those other guys land. I don't remember seeing Optimus landing during that, unless they did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he landed in the beginning because he scanned a truck that was going by and stuff. So,
but that could be. I mean, he could have maybe they'll set that up after this. After becoming an ape, he flies off again.
Yeah. So I'm just curious, how that's gonna go. Maybe they is there another planet that they're gonna be on? It has these animals on
it. Unless they're on the dark side of the moon.
I got that reference.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think because the original question is are you hopeful for this movie, or what do you essentially think about?
Yeah, what are you hoping? Because I want it to spawn more Transformers movies, right? But I don't necessarily I'm okay if this spawns a new whole thing, but the whole Beast Wars aspect of it kind of has me concerned a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think one thing I do like about Beast Wars, which Paul has mentioned, is that it has no humans.
Right.
Which has always been my complaint with certain things where they revolve a story around humans. I get why. It's this weird blend, where you need a human in order to consider it a live action movie. I don't know. But I think that was the one thing I did like about Beast Wars. But like you, Mav, I wasn't really completely into Beast Wars, but my whole issue with Transformers right now has always been Michael Bay's direction for how he changes
The characters.
I guess, yeah, he changes the characters pretty drastically. Like it's always awesome to see it's just good. It's awesome to see on screen, right? It's really cool to see Optimus Prime on screen, Bumblebee on screen, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm pretty sure he's not directing this movie. I know he Travis Knight Travis Knight is directing this.
No, Michael Bay is also in it.
Okay, so he's what, co-directing or what? Or he's
executive producer, probably. I think that's what he was.
Okay.
He was involved somewhat with Bumblebee.
He did that with Bumblebee too. Okay. Well, if they go, like, you could literally tell the difference, like, in storytelling with Travis Knight's Bumblebee. Like they were very much more kind of like faithful to the cartoon a little bit more. It was like the Gen 1 Bumblebee, but it was just I like just the way that movie did Transformers, right? So if they stay sort of faithful to the lore and make it so we see less humans and it's a little bit more like the cartoons, then awesome. I think they need to do that more rather than trying to make it look super realistic and go away from what we love about Transformers. Like something I would love to see is more of like the planets of Cybertron, because what I always found fascinating about Transformers is whatever planet they're on is how they adapt to like the vehicles they can transform into. So like on Cybertron, they are turning into like these spaceships and stuff based on Cybertron technology. When they come to Earth, they see like cars and stuff, so they transform into cars and all that. But more like the backstory of Transformers, I would love to see. I love the first movie. I thought they did a great job with the first movie. Michael Bay did a good job. The second, third was, I liked elements of the third movie. I thought it was like really cool when they were sliding down the building and stuff like that. It was like some cool moments in the third one in Boston. I think they were in Boston and stuff like that. And then 4 and 5 was just, I think that's the who was in the other one? 4 and 5. Who's the main character?
5 was the Knights.
Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that was just bad. I did not like that at all. Like the best thing about that was the CGI, but the story, the pacing, all that was just not the move. So if they take it more in a route where we can care about these characters like they did with Bumblebee, then I am down for this movie. If not, if they're going back to like the original route where it's all about explosions and screw the story and the humans are the main element, that's not what I like about Transformers.
Yeah.
I love the lore of the Cybertron and all these other stuff.
Yeah. They did say that they're going to be 2 main characters will be in the movie.
Okay. I mean, that's fine having humans. I mean, humans have been in the cartoon, but I'm just
somebody named Noah, who's played by Anthony Ramos.
Yeah.
And Elena, played by Dominique Fishback. So okay, Dominique, sorry.
Yeah,
Dominique.
I don't know this dude.
And okay, so there's several executive producers listed here, right? Michael Bay is listed as producer. Executive producers: Steven Spielberg, Brian Oliver, Don Granger, Brian Goldner, Dana Goldberg, Bradley J. Fisher, David Ellison, and Valerie Ann. And so Michael Bay has a role, but we don't really know what that is. And maybe just because he's been involved with the projects in the past or something. But this is directed by Stephen Capel Jr. And I was going to go see...
He did 2018 Creed 2.
Creed 2 is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see Creed 2.
something called The Land.
Dang, that's definitely a step up, huh? You're going from like a movie about that's very personalized about like boxing into the CGI fest.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
totally different. Like when you're a director, you definitely have to like.
So he could
Um,
be bringing like an immersion to the Transformers.
He definitely could like when you're directing like CGI and you're directing the actors to look at something that's not there, right? So it's like a different directing style that, but because of the personality, the personalized thing that he probably did in Creed, he could definitely bring that over. I don't think I've seen Creed 2, but that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. So his credits are Creed 2, and also something called The Land. I don't think I've seen that, but that's what he's most known for, supposedly, is that
The
and Creed
Land.
2. The Land is a movie. I remember seeing something about this movie. It says 4 teenage boys devote their summer to escaping the streets of Cleveland, Ohio. So this is all for you, Psycho, by pursuing a dream life of professional skateboarding. But when they get caught in the web of the local queen pin, their motley brotherhood is tested, threatening to make this summer their last. It looks like it could be really cool based on. Like,
I heard about it. I heard a lot of people talking about it in this neck of the woods, and
yeah,
anything that's like does with Cleveland, people from Cleveland or just in Ohio in general, just like fucking flock to it. So I think it gets a little overhyped.
It got a 6.4 on IMDb, and Creed 2 got a 7.1. So
it's not bad.
Yeah. There's hope for. There's hope for this movie. It's like you guys said. This is a big leap for this director here. Creed 2 is a pretty big project as well. So I'm not trying to slouch on that because you're working with top tier actors and talent and a big movie at that point, right? But like Transformers is like, big, huge summer blockbuster type thing.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure why they keep bringing in for people who like why is Michael Bay always involved with Transformers? He directed Bad Boys and all these other movies that made so much money, right? And then when he directed the first Transformers movie, and I believe Paramount has Transformers rights. Am I right with that?
Paramount.
Oh, they made a lot of money. Those Transformers movies.
Probably the most
huge.
like
it
hit the box. It constantly just broke box office records.
Yeah.
So they love the formula. That's more of the studio, right? Not really like I guess the story or whatever, but the studio probably is looking at that. They're loving how much money he can bring to this franchise. So whenever they make a new movie, they're like, hey, you need to produce this and make sure that continues. It seems it's more so about that than, and it may, he's probably there creatively too, I'm sure, because of how he directed the previous Transformer movies and how the humans interact with the robots, and some of the things they do in Transformers is actually amazing. When a human will jump on a like Optimus Prime, and it's like very seamless, and it's like very believable. Some of the technology that they have at those studios, I don't know which company Paramount works with. Like there's always like a CGI team that they'll hire. Like Disney always hires like Third Floor, which I've worked with them. They're awesome to do like some of their Avengers Endgame and stuff. They probably have like a studio that specializes in how actors can interact with the robots and stuff like that. And I'm sure he's very knowledgeable as he directed the previous Transformers. And so whenever a new Transformers comes out, I'm pretty sure he's basically coaching the process of how Transformers should probably go, but also giving them hopefully that freedom that they want.
Yeah, well, Michael Bay, the only credit he has on here is as a producer, and there's several other producers, but then there's several executive producers that are you know,
And
I guess other people that have been making this thing happen, right? So
Michael Bay can do action pretty all right, so that's probably where he's tied in, is trying to keep the action flowing. And then the actual director is probably going to give us a more of a personalized feeling with the manimals, or what are they called? Manimals?
What the Beast Wars
sometimes
characters?
these producers have like almost no role as well,
Maximals.
to be honest with
Maximals.
you. You know,
So
Sometimes
sometimes
it's just financial.
sometimes it's
No.
just financial. Yeah.
here it does say that what Beast Wars was, that they were descendants of the Autobots and Decepticons, and they were called Maximals and Predacons. So that it could be like Optimus's cousin, which is Optimus Primal. So,
Well, descendants would mean potentially from the future, or
that's what I'm
don't
saying.
know.
I don't get like where this story is kind of going to go. So hopefully, I mean, if they can nail the story, then
yeah.
we'll
Pong
see.
says F Beast Wars. Yeah, I never was really into it. What I'm curious about is somebody that's into Beast Wars. If there's anybody that was into Beast Wars or is familiar with the Beast Wars in the chat.
I don't care about Beast Wars.
I don't either, but I want to know, how does Optimus Primal tie into Optimus Prime? Is it just they did when they made Beast Wars originally? Did they just completely ignore the fact that the actual Transformers existed, or was there some kind of like transition that happened or something like that? I don't know the answer to that question.
If I was the studio, I wouldn't even want them to do Beast Wars and Transformers. I think it's weird. But since they're doing it, I'm more open to the idea, obviously, because we're going to get it anyways, despite whatever I think. But yeah, I don't really care. It's the same with in Pong's boat. I don't really care about Beast Wars.
Yeah, I never got into Beast Wars when it came out. I was a Gen 1 Transformer guy, and that was it. Beast Wars came out, I was like, what the F is this shit?
That's the way I was. I was excited for it when I found out there was going to be a new Transformers show, because we didn't have the other one anymore, right? And then when I saw what it was, I tuned in and I was like, fuck. Like, there's like gorillas and shit running around. You know what I mean? Like, and it was all this weird, really crappy computer animation and stuff that was like.
But back
really
then
weird.
was good. It was good then.
No, it wasn't, Psycho. It was horrible.
No, it was good. I mean, what is it? Reboot?
For the time,
Reboot was the same thing.
Yeah, for the time, but the time was then, and computer animation sucked then for like TV shows. So, yeah, I know what you mean though. Like for the time, a lot of people thought it looked good.
I think so, Rain. I think he was a gorilla.
Yeah,
and
he's an ape.
It's Optimus Primal, which people are saying is two different characters, but I don't think that's. I think when Beast Wars came out, and I could be wrong on this. So again, if anybody's watching this after the fact or listening on audio, send me a message and let me know, please. Is it supposed to did they ignore the fact that the Transformers existed and they went with a whole new show with similar characters and just changed their names slightly? Or was there an actual thing that happened? Or is it completely different characters, right?
I mean, when I was a kid, I always thought it was like separate. I'm like, what is this? I didn't really like this. It's just too different. And so I never really
Here we go.
It.
I looked up Beast Wars.
Is it like Ultimate Universe, maybe?
No, so Beast Wars took place 300 years after the events of the original Gen 1 Transformers.
So what
it's two.
After.
So it's like,
do you see after?
After, so 300 years.
So they start turning from cars into apes. They de-evolutionize.
I think they tried to be more. I don't know, like.
Well,
look at that mechanical cheetah. There's nothing weird about that.
Oh,
I don't know.
Well, maybe the world, like I don't know. A lot of humans go away, and then all they have is.
It takes place on an unknown planet. It says.
Well, never mind then. I don't know.
So this is, I guess, descendants of Autobots and Decepticons. So like, it could be Optimus Prime's grandson. right?
How's that work? Did they explain that?
I don't know.
How does the Transformers make babies?
Energon.
Energy
Upgrades.
Oil. I don't know, man.
They got a new flux capacitor.
But I guess didn't they explain it in one of them, like how they were born? What it was like through
Created from the Allspark.
The Allspark. There you go. So maybe
Yeah.
it's like the something with the Allspark or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, but they hit the freaking mammals and they transform into robots. Like,
I don't know. And Pong keeps saying
because
Megan.
because then that would have put Shia LaBeouf would have made him a transformer if that was the case, if he touched Allspark, because he was holding the fucking
No,
thing.
it doesn't. It's like it's like a creation like device that can turn like, you remember, okay, so it can turn like things that are non-human, or like it can turn like inanimate objects into transformers.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I remember that.
like
there was a Mountain Dew machine.
Yeah, there's like a radio or something, there's different things like that they were testing, you remember? And like it turned things into transformers. So I think it basically like gives something a soul and gives it the ability to manipulate itself into.
But it has to be an inanimate, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think it can be a living creature.
They turned a Xbox 360 into Decepticon in that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have a lot of Megan Fox fans in the chat.
Yeah, have you guys seen Megan Fox lately? You really want her?
Just don't go there, man.
I mean,
she's still pretty good, but like
I never really cared for like here's the thing, like with Megan Fox.
Yeah, that's right. You better say that.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Like that her whole role in the Transformers movies from then was just a Michael Bay thing to me. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, let's put a attractive woman on the screen to give people something to look at, and that really doesn't play a big role in the story at all.
I mean,
right?
So many things do that though.
Yeah, I'm not saying like it's just like you take her out of the equation, the movies are probably very similar, right?
Not for Pong, not for Ray.
So they were very Bay-ish. Like that, the whole thing was very. That was a very Bay thing to do, and even after Megan Fox left, they did the same thing with other characters, other. Remember, like Mark Wahlberg's daughter, right? And the fourth movie. So like things like that. It's just a Bay thing, right? And it's like that whole summer blockbuster movie where they just make it like super popcorny, right? It's just like, hey, this is stupid fun, let's have Megan Fox on the screen,
I left it at Paul's comment.
So That's funny. I love the Transformers movies, right? Because I love Transformers. But I would have loved also for a true representation of like the characters. And I don't think we got that. Instead, we got Shia LaBeouf running around with Megan Fox.
Yeah. I mean, at least with those movies, like because she was only in the first two, right? The third one, she got replaced by another girlfriend. Yeah, that's hilarious. And yeah, I don't know. I would like to see her come back because it's sort of like will reminisce what we liked about the first two movies, or maybe just the first movie, honestly. It'd be kind of cool. I kind of miss Shia LaBeouf too, in the Transformers movies. I know we're getting a new human, but the problem with the new humans, like you have to explain his origin story again and make us care about this person. Like, why do we care about what's his name, Anthony Ramos?
Yeah, can't we just get Spike? Can we just put Spike in the movies and just have Spike follow around the Transformers and give him a robot suit to walk around in and that can turn into a little car? Where's Spike at?
Yeah, like I understand why Shia left, like with Hellboy was saying, like he wanted to make more personalized movies. He wanted to do more indie movies, more like acting type movies. So
Yeah,
he went
like
away
Indiana
from Hollywood.
Jones.
No, after Indiana Jones, he was like, no, not doing this anymore. And then he did like smaller, more intimate movies, and
which were great
which were really good.
He
because he's
was
a
good
great
in Fury.
actor.
He's a
He was good in
fantastic actor.
Fury. I did like Fury.
Great in Fury, great in the Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yes, Pong. He is a great actor.
He was great in that one movie where he pretty much played his kind of abusive father.
Honey, right?
What was it called?
Honey.
Honey.
I think it's called Honey.
Is it Honey? Okay. Well, I'll trust you.
Yes, Honey.
Honey. Hole. Oh yeah, Holes. That was an older one, but yeah, Holes.
Yeah,
is great.
Holes.
I think he's
actually never seen Holes.
Oh,
What?
please watch. You have.
Yeah, you have.
It's on
you
Disney.
You had me watch Holes.
It's on Disney Plus.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, you did.
I've never seen, no, you.
That was
you
a
told
different
me
movie,
it was
man.
good.
Oh.
That was the other Holes thing I had you.
That was a different movie.
Please watch Holes. It's so good. It's one of his. It's like a classic. It's like he even sings a song in it.
Disturbia was good.
Yeah, that was good too.
Was it Disturbia?
It's a Honey Boy. Honey Boy, not Honey.
Yeah.
Honey
So
Boy.
I would love to see Shia return. Like the problem with these Transformer movies is like if you have a new human, you have to describe why we should care about them again, and this whole shebang. And then it's Transformers. I care about Optimus Prime. I care about like that universe. The humans are always like the side thing, but I get it. Is so we can I get why they do it, so we can sort of relate to what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
But
what's funny though in this, like these ones that are continuations though, like these characters just go away and they don't ever allude to them again. You know what I mean? So like Shia LaBeouf is still out there somewhere. You know what I mean? And like Haley, is it Steinfeld? Yeah, Haley Steinfeld. Yeah.
Steinfeld.
Like she was great in Bumblebee, like because she's also a great actress.
She's a great actress, yeah.
And that movie was really good. And if they did continue, like it would be nice if they just picked one of these characters to continue with or something, right? Like I understand if you're jumping timelines now, you got to make Haley Steinfeld 10 years older than she was, but she was already like they made her a teenager in that movie, so they could make it work, right? It's only 13 years later, so they could make that work. And I feel like there's going to be at some point like a Transformers like convention where there's going to be a reunion or like
all the characters.
All the characters like Mark Wahlberg, Shia LaBeouf, Haley Steinfeld, Megan Fox, all these people, and they're going to be like all different ages, just like talking about their experiences.
Be awesome. Actually, I would watch that. I would watch a movie where Shia LaBeouf comes back and he interacts with Mark Wahlberg. That'd be kind of. I actually would like to see that. You know, dismiss what I said before.
They form the Transformers Human Force
Society.
the Transformers.
That's 7.
Yeah, Transformers, the Autobot Companions League.
Or Endgame. Transformers Endgame.
Oh, no, they could call them the drivers.
The drivers.
Because they always sit in the driver's seat of the cars.
They're like, no. They say that a lot.
Yeah. No. They do that too.
They do,
No.
Especially Shia. He's like, no.
Yeah, they read the script and there's just like tons of no's in there.
Yeah, it was great. I would watch that. I take it back about not caring about the humans and stuff. If they have like Shia and Mark Wahlberg in the same movie and they kind of interact with each other, you can like you could have some pretty good scenes.
You need Haley Steinfeld too.
Oh, they could just be
Yeah.
They could just be in like in a used car lot and they're like the salesman. And then they're just like back and forth talking, but like just talking shit about, you know, over like, hey, remember, like, imagine if one of these cars was like freaking a robot and then it just drives off and you're like, just some funny shit.
Yeah. Someone pitched that movie. Let's see that.
Yeah.
I don't really care about Beast Wars, but maybe they'll make it so I do care. Marvel did a lot of that. They made, like I talked about earlier, they made me care about Guardians. I didn't care about Guardians of the Galaxy. I thought those terrible comics. And then they made it so I love those characters. Love Groot. Love Gamora and
we are Groot.
Let's get a Snyder verse Transformers thing going.
I like how they had the. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I finally watched Army of the Dead last night.
Ooh.
Oh, I started it.
Is that the one that we watched with Batista?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was fucking like crazy and weird and not what I was expecting, but I still enjoyed it.
I did like the frontal nudity of the women.
Did you? I only watched up to the part
zombie
where,
boobs. Yes.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Up
yeah.
to the part where they start going on the truck to basically they gathered all the people and went on the truck, but then I had to like do something. So
yeah, you're not missing so much.
Man, I loved it.
I enjoyed it.
I was liking it so far.
Yeah.
It was all right.
It felt like Max Payne almost. Not Max Payne, not fucking Max Payne. Mad Max. It felt like Mad Max, but like zombie apocalypse.
The shots are really cool.
It had some comical moments with the zombie deaths and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was just kind of weird.
It was very strange.
Raiden said the endings basically suck. I love the shots. You know, I think Zack Snyder is always such a good visual director. I thought he did it.
The music was fantastic. I'd like the music.
He does. I think his style of directing is like probably what he does before he gets a movie is he gets a bunch of songs and he just like he plans the movie around these songs because it seems so relevant to a lot of his like I don't know his movies. Like if you watched the trailer for Watchmen, that's one of my favorite trailers of all time. Or what he did with Superman, like when he's getting electrocuted or whatever, it's like a song playing. Yeah, his style is just pretty cool. But
the song that was playing in the Snyderverse, in the Snyder cut with Flash, when he was like running back through making the world reappear or whatever, you know what I mean? Like,
so cool. So cool.
That was such an amazing scene. I can't, and it's like something like that. They cut out of the original is just mind blowing.
That's the dumbest decision ever because, like, I don't know. Looking back at like, I understand why Warner Brothers did it, but at the same time, they made the wrong decision because they did it because they want to cut down time and all that. But they just, I don't know who made the final cut, but they just did a terrible job.
But
in the
I mean, like,
cut.
Lord of the Rings was like 3.5 hours. That's not even the extended cut. The extended cut added like an hour on top of that. So the extended Lord of the Rings are 4.5 hours when they came out to DVD. So having a long movie is not out of the realm. So if this was Zack Snyder's dream, they could have easily just split it up in part 1, part 2.
Yeah, I just understand why they did it. I don't think I don't agree with it. I just understand why they did it. Like,
I mean, the movie was 90% done when he left because of the passing of his was his daughter, I believe, or his uncle.
It was his daughter, yeah.
Daughter. So, so it's like for them to get away from that was like, I don't know. It was just a bad choice. Like, so they should have just like held off, delayed the movie because of what was going on. If they cared enough about Zack, but it was like the budget was more important than what was happening with Zack Snyder. I mean, Zack Snyder probably also said, guys, finish the movie, but he probably didn't say, redo my movie. And that's, they spent even more money to do all what they did. They kept a couple shots. If you watch the movie, if you watch Zack Snyder, they kept a couple of the things, and you could tell. And the best parts of the Josh Whedon movie was all Zack Snyder's parts. So
Brutal. What do you mean another Get Woke film by Disney? I'll skip on Black Widow. What does that mean? I'm really curious what he means by that.
Yeah, Black Widow is coming on July 9th. I am super excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm not spending $30 on premiere. I'm gonna go spend my $5 and go see it at the movie theater.
I think it's gonna be pretty cool. Her character is always. They've been trying to make a Black Widow movie since I don't even know how long. It's just always been like weird timing, I guess, with that movie. But they made it after
it was
she
supposed
died.
to come out like 2020, right? So
Not even that. I mean, just the production of it. Like they just been trying to make it for so long. But yeah, it's supposed to come out last year. I guess they were waiting till it's a little bit better in terms of sales, probably. Like they could release it out in theaters now. There's a lot more people that's willing to go to theaters now because they have the shot and stuff like that. So
this movie is going to bring a lot of people back.
Yeah,
because this is the biggest movie to release since like COVID was a thing at theaters, right? There was Tenet was pretty big, but that was like in the middle of the worst parts of the pandemic, right? So like as far as this goes, I think like you said, a lot of people are more comfortable. There's a lot of people that are vaccinated and stuff now as well. Like theaters are I'm noticing that there's more cars outside when I'm driving by them and stuff, and I think this is going to be the movie that kind of reinvigorates theaters to an extent. And I know there was one recently that came out that they were really pleased with the sales at the theaters as well. I can't remember what movie that was, but I remember seeing that and it was pretty promising. So Black Widow, it's about time that we have like a Black Widow movie. I still would like to see a Hawkeye movie, but we do get the Hawkeye show, right? Even though that's going to feature, I think Haley Steinfeld is going to probably take over the mantle right there as well. And like, this is so cool seeing all these like mantles like transferred over in these shows too, right?
Can definitely see Black Panther too. It's like the next phase of Marvel. So you're gonna see like probably the girl that's Scarlet is fighting in the trailer, like her sister, or I think it's her sister. She's probably gonna be the new Black Widow, I'm guessing. Or
probably.
And then there's gonna be a new Black Panther. I'm telling you guys, there's going to be Tobey Maguire. I was talking to Dealer yesterday. There's going to be a new Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire. There's going to be an Andrew Garfield. Mark it here. They are in the movie. I bet you. And getting to see those three Spider-Mans like interact with each other is going to be the coolest thing, and it comes out this year. I keep forgetting.
That I definitely see them. Was it Far From Home? Was it Far From Home or No Way Home?
No Way Home. Yeah.
So I mean, there's rumors that they were going to be introduced, but that could be the tie-in for the multiverse that we're all hearing about with Spider-Man, is that we get the Maguire and Garfield Spider-Mans interacting with Tom Arnold and
Tom Arnold Holland. Yeah, Tom Arnold was Roseanne's wife.
Yeah.
You mean husband?
Husband. when you say Tom Arnold, it just makes it makes me imagine Tom Arnold like actually in a Spider-Man suit, which is just like fun.
But
her wife.
His wife. Her wife.
Oh my God.
I don't know. Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man, by the way.
He's a cutie pie.
Tom Holland's great.
Oh my God, noob.
Like, I like all three Spider-Mans for different reasons. And like we talked about this before, but I love Tom Holland as Spider-Man and also Peter Parker. He's like a good mixture of that. And then Andrew Garfield's probably like, he's not Peter Parker at all, but he does a pretty good like Spider-Man, like pretty sarcastic and stuff. but like the blend between those two characters, like him turning from Peter Parker to Spider-Man, just wasn't it. And Tobey Maguire was like, he was a great Peter Parker, but when he was Spider-Man, it wasn't like, I don't know, it wasn't as like great movies. By the way, I'm not saying it wasn't a good movie. Spider-Man, like the original trilogy with Tobey, was amazing, but or just the first two. We don't talk about the third one. But when he was Spider-Man, it wasn't as like, it wasn't like Tom Holland, I guess.
Yeah.
The sarcasm bits like didn't hit as hard.
I don't know. They kind of lost me on the third one with we told Maguire Spider-Man. It kind of just felt.
I already knew I was going to get people.
I don't know. Like they lost a lot of points with, especially with the whole Green Goblin. Like Green Goblin was never a suit. He was, he was like an elf. That's what I want. I kind of want to see. Like, I know they're trying to go more realistic movie presence, but I mean, come on. I mean, like I wanted to see Green Goblin, Hobgoblin, and hopefully maybe in the new Spider-Man, we'll get that.
Yeah,
because we're seeing more people are liking, not that Spider-Man, not emo Spider-Man. God,
this is my favorite Spider-Man.
Emo Spider-Man. Come on.
This is your guys' favorite Spider-Man in the chat.
All right, everybody in the chat can fight me. All right, I don't believe. Like, listen, like I disagree with everybody that says that. Okay,
Tobey Maguire was a great Spider-Man.
He was
that third movie was rough, dude. That I don't know, man. I don't know, like costumes designer, the director, Tobey Maguire. Nobody once looked at this and figured out what they were doing and just thought something's a little off here. Maybe this isn't gonna quite hit or land like we're expecting. Because I look fucking ridiculous and like, am I Chris Angel? Like, what the hell is going on?
Listen, we don't talk about the third Spider-Man, right? But it did, a lot of good memes came out of it. Tobey is a fantastic actor. I think people are gonna just like, they're not thinking about it like I'm thinking about it from the comics and the newer comics and stuff like that. Like in terms of him as a character, right? Because how many Batmans do we have, right? I feel like no one has truly nailed Batman yet. There's been people who are close. There's been people who are on the verge of who Batman is as a character, but no one has nailed Batman. And I feel like with Spider-Man,
Affleck was close.
He was the closest.
What about Michael Keaton?
Michael Keaton.
Oh, okay.
Great.
I said people are close, but in terms of him, like when you think about Iron Man, right, Kate?
Yeah.
That is Iron Man. Like
what, Robert Downey?
Yeah, Robert Downey.
Yeah, for sure.
Like no one, if anyone jumped into Iron Man, you'd just be like poser, right? You'd just be like.
That's actually one of the ones that I really enjoyed, and because I love him. So
yeah, and there's a couple characters where I'm like, you nailed that character, like who he is, from the comics and like the sarcasm and everything. Like you hit everything for that character, including not just you as an actor, but whoever directed it, made the embodiment of who that character is supposed to be.
So what did you think of Michael Keaton then?
I thought he was great.
Maybe you don't appreciate him as much because you're younger.
Yeah.
I grew up.
Michael Keaton was good. Michael Keaton was good.
Then there was Adam West.
No.
No.
Right?
Yeah, he was the TV show, but that was like the 60s. And there was a lot of
that
drugs.
was that
Pow, bam, boom.
Yeah, that was the pow bam stuff.
Holy fuck balls, Batman.
That was that Batman. But
like Ben Affleck, he did a good Batman, but he didn't do a great Bruce Wayne. But in the Zack Snyder cut, he was a better Bruce Wayne in that. So because they were always going to make a film with just a Ben Affleck standalone Batman movie, but that just never came out to fruition. Which, who knows? That could have been a phenomenal film. And there's rumors that they're still going to make it. So even though they have Sparkle Boy being the new Batman, so we'll see.
Yeah. And when
What
you
is
guys are talking
Sparkle
about
Boy?
Spider-Man, I just feel like Tom Holland is the closest to who Spider-Man is as a character, and when like in terms of him as Peter Parker and sort of being like a nerd, a scientist, but struggling with who he is, and also like a really sarcastic like Spider-Man. Like he nails both of those sides, and I feel like Toby nailed the Peter Parker aspect, especially with like him and his pizza job and all this different stuff. He struggled that, but Tom Holland just nailed both aspects of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So I'm laughing at
Toby's
Matt
great.
because he's just throwing up all the emo fucking Tobey Maguire picks that he can find.
Yes, but I disagree with all of you guys in chat. You could fight me later, you can message me, but
Okay, let's have some fun with this right now because you got me thinking. Okay?
Matt Barnes. He says, "Go fuck ourselves." Love you, Matt.
For me, my favorite Batman was Michael Keaton because I thought like the way he
Yeah.
portrayed Bruce Wayne and Batman was just like really good blend, kind of like you were saying with Tom Holland. And I agree. For me personally, Tom Holland is my favorite Spider-Man. I also do really like Tobey Maguire, and I liked Andrew Garfield too. I just think that he didn't nail it as well as the other two. But so if I was to rank them, I'd say 1 Tom Holland, 2 Tobey Maguire, 3 Andrew Garfield. But I did think all of them did a fairly good job, and especially Tom Holland is the GOAT. Now I want to do this though. I'm gonna name a character, and y'all tell me who is the character. Right? Okay.
yeah,
Who's the actor? You
like
mean?
the act, like
yeah.
the
Like
actor.
okay. So
Like which actor first comes to our mind?
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Loki.
That guy.
Tom Hiddleston.
Yeah.
Does it? Now
Yeah, he does a good job.
Yeah, you say 3-bit that you don't really care for Loki, but
I don't
like
either.
he nails the character, like
He does.
like absolutely. Like I cannot picture another like actor being Loki, right?
Yeah, the TV show definitely helped with like my view of Loki because I didn't care about him.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah,
that.
he didn't have a major role in the movie, so
War Machine.
Oh.
That's an interesting one because there's two.
Yeah,
So-
I did not like what's his, I forget his name.
Terrence
but
Howard.
Yeah, I didn't like Terrence Howard as
I don't really
He was
honestly.
very-
I
he was
like.
very bland. It was dead.
I love Don Cheadle, right? I love
Yeah.
Don Cheadle.
I actually like Terrence Howard.
I like him and stuff, but I don't like him, right?
I think people.
Suppose
also-
like he's a dick too.
Yeah, I think he's actually. a
Well,
terrible-
besides like being a dick, I don't know. He didn't like portray a good War Machine. Like Cheadle, he like I
But
think he like
is that psycho? Is that because there's like a million different versions or a million different films with Cheadle as War Machine? He only got one with
Right.
Terrence Howard.
And
I
he
just
wasn't
think
even
the
really
chemistry-
War Machine that much in that. You know
I think
what I mean?
the chemistry between Tony Stark and War Machine, I think their chemistry together is what portrayed him as a better War Machine. Because with Terrence, his interaction was just, I didn't feel it like they were best friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'm coming from.
I love Don Cheadle, right? I love him and stuff, but to me, like he doesn't make a great War Machine, personally. I think that like I could have seen a different actor there, and I don't know like.
Ooh.
I'm
What about like Idris Elba?
Well, Idris Elba is I can't say his name because I always get mispronounced, but he played his character perfectly. Do not.
Oh yeah, he was in.
Is it
Thor.
Heimdall?
He was.
Oh, he was
He's
in one?
Thor. He's in Thor.
Yeah, he was in
He's
Thor.
he's a major character in Thor, the Thor movies.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
I can't remember how to pronounce his name, but
He's the
All right,
gatekeeper.
here's a good one.
he controls the
You ready?
Bifrost.
I got two good ones actually.
Digimon Hansu?
Oh, but Digimon Hansu would be an amazing War Machine. Or the guy that is in Moonlight. What's the guy's name? But he's gonna play something else. Mahaja Ali.
Blade. He's gonna be Blade.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm.
So.
Oh, I got one. Hulk.
Oh.
Mark
okay.
Ruffalo.
Oh, for me personally, okay. So I love Mark. I love Mark Ruffalo.
Definitely not Edward fucking Norton.
No,
What you guys got against Edward Norton?
No, I like Mark Ruffalo as Hulk.
I'm gonna say something.
I love Mark Ruffalo, so that's my dude.
I'm gonna say something controversial here, but I thought Eric Bana was a great Hulk.
Yeah, is that the first Hulk with?
Yeah, that was the one that kind of looked like a comic book. You know, they kept doing all the comic book page things and stuff.
Yeah.
One with Jennifer Connelly, the first one, right?
Yeah.
I thought Eric Bana did a great job, and for me personally, as Hulk, not like I like Mark Ruffalo better as the actor, right? I just thought Eric Bana made a really good Hulk. So
I think he's closer. That's where people can get confused. Like when we talk about like, oh, we love this actor or whatever. I'm always thinking about like in terms of who the character is, and I think he was really close to like who Hulk was.
I'm just gonna judge it based on who I like best as an actor.
But
that's just who I am.
Yeah, and that's fine. And he's the most, we've had a million movies with Mark, so that's the most like, people just embody him as Hulk now, which is fine.
Yeah.
What about Joker?
This is
Heath Ledger, hands down.
I mean,
It's Heath Ledger.
I kind of want to say Jack Nicholson also was great.
Jack Nicholson was more of a good like comic book based Joker, but Heath Ledger brought more of the realness of
like a very like a dark.
Yeah, he brought it outside of being like a comic book and brought it like real life and like okay, he's not schizophrenic, but he's just a delusional freaking crazed madman.
Heath Ledger for me was the best on-screen Joker, period. But I would have always loved to see Mark Hamill actually play the Joker in a live-action movie.
Yeah, that would be cool.
His voice was very.
There's actually a lot of good Jokers.
Because
Joker
he is
probably hard.
The best, in my opinion. Mark Hamill portrays the best Joker.
When did he play Joker?
He's in all the animated stuff.
Like the voice.
The voice you think of when you think of Joker
series.
From all the animated series is Mark Hamill, and he plays.
I didn't know
his
that.
Voice in other
He's
stuff,
in. He's in Star Wars, right?
Some of the movie, the animated
He's
movies.
Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
It would have been because I think he could. I think he gets the character so well, right? With what like from the comics and stuff, like and animated series and all that stuff. Like it would be interesting to see him act that out, like live action, right? To see. But that being said, like on screen, like it's a very different take on the Joker, right? Heath Ledger just hands down, 100%. Okay, so I'm gonna name.
Hakeem killed it though.
Superman.
I have one.
I would say Heath. Yeah.
I was gonna say I have one. And Superman. This is controversial or whatever. I'm gonna say, oh my god, Man of Steel.
Henry Cavill.
Jesus, I like him. He for me he portrayed an awesome Superman. Like it was because like Christopher Reeve was a great Superman, but he was too much of a goody the comic book Superman, and Henry Cavill just like brought it like home with the more realistic with the fights and the struggles he had growing up as with the powers of Superman and everything, and he just did it.
I find him rather boring.
I'm gonna say either That's Superman's a little bit hard because there's some good Supermans. Tom Welling was a great Superman in Smallville, and then Christopher Reeve is just like classic, right? And then Henry did great too. Yeah, Superman's a little bit harder for me. I'm gonna just say Tom Welling because I thought he nailed who I pictured who Superman is, but Hellboy was saying like Robert Pattinson has. I think Robert Pattinson has the potential to be a really good Batman.
He's a great actor, so people judge him for like being in Twilight. You know what I mean?
But Twilight
that was just
great.
That was just a movie series. That's like a first movie series. But if you've seen him in other things, like he has a lot of range as an actor. You can like Heath Ledger.
No,
right?
See, you're still downplaying Twilight though. What's wrong with Twilight?
Well, because a lot of guys that are like judging Batman, they think of Edward, the like love interest in Twilight, and be like, we don't want that to be Batman. We don't want emo sparkling Batman. But like, you gotta realize this is an actor playing a role. He's not gonna be Edward in Batman. You know, he wasn't Edward in Lost City of Z. He wasn't Edward in like who was the one that from the
Tencent.
Was that?
He was in Tencent.
Yeah, and there was a movie that was by the same guys that did Uncut Gems that he was in that was like supposed to be really, really good. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've seen a couple movies with him. He's a fantastic actor. So I think he has a potential. Like I'm looking for something with Batman. I feel like they haven't hit yet, and a lot of people have gotten close. Michael Keaton is very close, probably the closest next to like because I didn't think Christopher Nolan was Batman. I'm sorry, like he was a great actor. He's in one of the greatest Batman movies of all time, Dark Knight, but I don't think he was Batman. Michael Keaton was pretty close to being who Batman is. And then Ben Affleck was pretty close too. But I feel like there's not an Iron Man level yet.
Yeah, I agree. That's why this is interesting because like some of them is so easy because they've nailed it so much, right? Okay, Black Widow. Like, can you imagine somebody else playing Black Widow other than Scarlett Johansson?
No, she does a pretty good job. And Chris Evans. He killed it.
Yeah, that guy Evans
killed it. That's how you do it. Because he's such a corny character,
also, right?
I know, but like he killed it as Cap. Cap is such a corny-ish character, but he made him so likable in like the movies, like no one else. So when we're talking about these characters, if you manage to make it so you erase all of the other actors and you're just like, this is the one, then you've done a really good job. And I want that with Batman. We'll see. I think
they gotta keep him more than one fucking movie or two movies at a time. You know, so Warner Brothers needs to step up and stop replacing every freaking superhero. Especially they got rid of Superman. Now they brought him Henry Cavill back. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So for me, Superman is Christopher Reeve.
Yeah, that's a good one, man. Like in terms of like who he is, and I kind of watched it, so it's like kind of recent, so it's like fresh in my brain. How he switched from Clark Kent, he like literally changed his posture to being when
he did such a good job. He played this like he kind of felt like a little nerdy, like there's no way anybody could confuse this klutzy like guy for being Superman. Then he, and all of a sudden he's this like badass. You know what I mean?
We're not slandering Toby, okay? I'm just saying you guys are wrong. No, I think Tom Holland is just the closest. Like this led to a whole conversation, like who we think is fits the character, and it's an interesting conversation to have because you're like, I love this actor, but does this actor fit the character of who I picture, right?
Wonder Woman.
Oh, Gal Gadot.
There could be a better Wonder Woman.
There could be,
but I think she does.
I like.
I mean, looks wise,
yeah, she's
yeah. Gal Gadot, I mean, because she's an Amazonian, and she kind of brings that foreign, not really knowing what the like especially in like the first Wonder Woman, you know, she's out of tune of what people's mannerisms and how everything is. She's taking everything literally. Like, it's truth and justice, and Chris Pine has to like, no, we have to like kind of like go between the two grounds of truth and justice. We kind of have to like mud it a little bit and tell a lie to get what we want. So I think she did a good job.
She did good. I don't think she's like the best actress.
No,
I mean, obviously she's stunning, but
yeah, like she's like
she portrays and acts as that character really well, right? Like for that character, like something about her fits the role really well. To where I think it fits her. I've seen her in other movies where I'm like, okay, she's not as good, but like in this, for some reason, the Wonder Woman movies, her acting comes through better. Great. Yeah, see, that's was the other one is like a lot of people. Wonder Woman is Linda Carter, right? Like, you know.
Well, that was the TV show, but
yeah, she was pretty iconic for that role, right? Like,
yeah.
So there's a lot of people that would probably say her, but
he was foreign. That's why I think Gal Gadot kind of gets that more, because she's literally, you know, she's from Israel, so she has that foreign, not familiar with our ways type of understanding things, how things are working, and you know.
I mean, she does a good job. I just think like when she was first cast as Wonder Woman, everybody was like, why? Because she wasn't the greatest actress. She was in the Fast and Furious movies, and she had some cringy lines. Not gonna lie.
Well, she originates she's a model.
She was a model first, right? So when she was cast as Wonder Woman, everybody was like,
oh yeah,
what?
No one's like, why is she even Wonder Woman? And then they came out.
She did a good job.
Then we see why she's Wonder Woman.
Yeah, she fits the role really well. So I think they've done it. Like, if they make 4 more Wonder Woman movies and it's Gal Gadot, I think, you know, we'll probably all be like, okay, Wonder Woman is Gal Gadot. You know what I mean? Like it, and there's been a few already where she's been in 3 movies now. Batman vs Superman,
4.
Wonder Woman 84, Justice League, and the other one, and Wonder Woman. So 4 movies. So 4, yeah. So that's pretty. She's getting like landing that as status, right? But there's a lot of kids right? to kids. That's Wonder Woman, right? They don't know any other difference either, right? So okay, so here, man, okay, Wolverine. Like, there's only one.
Yeah.
Yep. See, like Hugh Jackman.
Question.
That's it. There is no like if someone else does it, then.
Well, there's rumors that Daniel Radcliffe could be Wolverine too.
What?
No.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
That was like,
he doesn't have the voice.
That would be fucking weird.
He doesn't have the voice.
It was an article. I read it just 2 days ago. 2 days ago, Dan Radcliffe could possibly be.
Hello, Bob.
He better have like some kind of vocal surgery to be able to.
Well, he also better have some kind of other surgery also.
The actors can bulk up and stuff, but just like, man, I don't know.
No,
not height.
Yeah, well, Wolverine's short because he's like the short, stocky like guy. Right?
Yeah,
but he is
from Canada,
you know.
Or the Flash, right? I don't think Ezra. I think Ezra is. I think the guy
Grant
from the
Gustin.
TV show.
Yeah,
he's
Grant
the Flash.
Gustin. He's the Flash.
He's the Flash.
He's the best portrayal. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what Pong said is really interesting. He says these are interesting discussions because it all depends on how you view the character, and these characters have been established for decades, but have seen so many different iterations. And that's what you like. I seen some people in chat was like, "Oh, he's too young," like Tom Holland and stuff, or like all the new interpretations of Spider-Man. He's in like high school, right? But in the original versions of Spider-Man, he was like in college and he was like more of an adult.
Yeah, he had jobs.
He had jobs and stuff like that. But like it matches with the new generation or the new iterations of Spider-Man. Like he's, you know, that's who he is now.
Did you read Les Emperor's comment? If they bring back Green Lantern, it should be John Stewart and John whatever
Boyega
from Finn should be playing John Stewart.
He'll be a pretty good one.
Yeah,
I want to see him in more stuff.
I think he was good, and I think Ryan Reynolds did a pretty decent job. It's just his lines just were bad.
Yeah,
He
not.
Didn't have good writers.
Sometimes it's not the actor's fault, you know.
He portrayed a decent Green Lantern. You know, it was just like fucking lines, man.
Like Spider-Man 3 was Sam Raimi's fault, right? That's not Tobey Maguire's. Yeah. Well, you know what I mean, but like he should have been like, I can't do this. I can't portray Peter Parker like this. No, Sam. You know, all right, so Storm.
Well, there's only been there's been two Storms.
I don't think she's a good Storm.
You don't think Halle Berry is a good Storm?
I don't think either is Storm.
Is been the one that most iconic. When people think of Storm, it's Halle Berry, but she wasn't the best either.
No, there's no Storm in
Professor
my eyes.
X.
You know how like we switch between like the different Storms? There is no Storm.
Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart, but they do a good job actually. Both actors as Xavier.
Same thing with Magneto.
Magneto, who's better?
They both were great.
The Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender, right?
Michael Fassbender was a great younger Magneto.
Actually, I must say Michael Fassbender. I think he's closer.
Yeah.
But they're both great.
Yeah.
It's weird because I choose Patrick Stewart and then I'm choosing the other one. Right. But yeah, that's an interesting one. That is a definitely interesting one. I wasn't gonna address this, but I want to say with Brutal that almost every movie in some form or fashion, like Star Wars or whatever, has politics in it, dude. And it's like it's embedded within like cinema. And I know a lot of people say like, oh, I don't want this to be political, but if you look at stories in general and you look at the history of like Stan Lee and all this, like
X-Men is
about X-Men,
completely 100% about race.
That's what I was gonna say. Like X-Men is literally about race, and like Xavier is based off of Martin Luther King, while Magneto is based off of Malcolm X, and there are different philosophies for how they thought, like how society should treat like just people, like Malcolm X thought like, oh, we should fight back, and we like and then Xavier thought like, oh, we should have a peaceful route because people will see us a different way as mutants and stuff like that, right? And they took that. So it's literally embedded within our stories and culture. So I never really understood when people say like, oh, I want to stay away from this because it's too political. It's literally within our own. It's within hundreds of stories, and if you look at even the origin,
the comic books too. I mean, Captain America was pretty much the whole thing with the whole World War II. So I mean, or it was not World War II, but set place of what would World War II, and you know, and same thing with Superman. It was all political, but it was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a lot of
idea.
Yeah, a lot of these stories are based in like what was happening around these people. Like Frank Miller is a great example. He was writing stories based on the surroundings around him, and that's why a lot of his stories, like Daredevil, it's like these really dark, brutal stories because he was born in like Hell's Kitchen, or he was raised in Hell's Kitchen, which was one of the worst parts of New York. And so a lot of his stories is you know, it's dark, it's about it talks about politics in a lot of Frank Miller stories and all this different stuff. Some people are fans, some aren't, but it's like, I don't know, it's weird Um, whenever I hear that because it's literally Star Wars is very political. It's all about politics, actually. Star Wars. Um, so yeah, I don't know. That's how I want to say that because I see that so often.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was addressing the other thing about Brutal was saying that he doesn't need to see a black Captain America or a Hispanic Spider-Man and so forth, and that's just what he prefers because he identifies as those characters as what they were. But besides the fact that first off it doesn't even really matter, but second off, those are also come from the comics, right? Like Miles Morales is a comic book character as well as Falcon became Captain America in the comic books as well.
See, I didn't know that either.
These
How
things.
many people do you think are out there that are huge fans of the like movies and stuff, but have no idea what happens in the comics?
Probably a lot.
So they're just thinking like this decision to do this or that was just like created, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, there's probably a lot of people who think that some of these stories are just to push a message, even if they're following a story that was written in the 90s or something like that. Right?
I mean, honestly, I thought until just now, I thought the Miles Morales thing was just like a new thing.
Yeah, and it is a deep conversation, bro. I get it, but it's also like, why not, right? We've had a lot of these characters. I think people have to think about, like Superman. The reason why he wears the underwear on the outside is because he was created based off of circus performers, right? And circus performers around the time, like they wanted Superman to be athletic and whatever. So they put the underwear on the outside. So a lot of these characters were based or created and around the time frame of like maybe 60s or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there were very few just black characters and other characters from other medias because it was sort of looked down upon. So over time, these creators, and this is something I talked with Paul about this, like, so I'm very passionate about it. Like I talked with Paul Jenkins, who's my boss, and he wrote The Origin of Wolverine and some other stories, and he talks about this a lot, about like sort of representation and how it links to the origin of when they were created, but also making it so they have like newer characters that we can care about. I don't think it's pandering to make a black Spider-Man or a black Superman. You still have those stories, right? You still have your Clark Kent Superman. There's been thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of that story. But there's also, a different universe of Miles Morales, of like different Spider-Mans. You can have both. I don't always get like white people are like, oh, you're taking away my Peter Parker. Oh, you're taking away my story. It's been hundreds of thousands of stories of that character. They're just also making a, just a new interpretation for people who's never really been represented before, So I don't know. That's how I think about it. I don't really mind having two different. We already have so many different versions of Spider-Man to begin with. I never see people complain about Ben Reilly's Spider-Man. There's Spider-Man 2099. There's the Doc Ock Spider-Man, right? So when you're making another character, just think about, there's so many different Supermans to begin with. There's so many different Spider-Mans to begin with. So when you're adding another character just because he's a different race, you're not pandering, you're just making a different version of that character, right? That's how I think about it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's more about what fits the attitude and the character as opposed to skin tone. If one thing, like, and then the other thing is it also is about comics and what came and their inspirations and stuff and what the stories were originally supposed to be about and where the writers want to go. You know what I mean? They don't take these decisions lightly, or they're gonna say, hey, we should do this. We need to do this because of the way the civilization is right now. You know what I mean? They care about these characters too. And I think they want to make the best movies and the best entertainment for people, regardless. And just because something is seemingly relevant with the way the world is today, doesn't mean that's the only reason behind the decision, right?
These are fictional characters.
Yeah. So
I think people think that if they come out with, a new version, then like they're like, oh no, like that's who the character is now.
Mhm.
When no, it's just another take on it.
Yeah, so it's just another take on the character. Like, again, I only see people have a problem with it when they change the race of it. Like, I've seen so many different versions of Spider-Man. Like, there's like Spider-Man 2099, there's Ultimate Spider-Man, there is
young Spider-Man, old Spider-Man,
young Spider-Man, old Spider-Man,
Pig Spider-Man.
Pig Spider-man, right? But when they change his
When
race,
they change the skin color or the race,
you're pandering.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's a right. It's basically just a different version of that character, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's all it is. It's a fictional character, so you can kind of do what you want with it. And that's the glory of comic books. There's so many different versions of these characters.
So here's a good point to this. Okay, so I'm going to ask you. I'm going to name a character, and you tell me You tell me the first person that comes to mind when I say this character.
Okay.
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson. Now, originally, he's not an African American character in the comics, correct?
He's white. Yeah.
Yeah, white guy. But because on screen he was always portrayed as a black guy, nobody ever really has raised a question about that, because they only really learned about for the masses. They only learned about the character when he was Nick Fury on screen. But it's a different representation of the character. But he nails the character. It was the right decision to go with Samuel L. Jackson because he portrays Nick Fury perfectly, in my opinion. Like that, that's Nick Fury, right? Like, so it doesn't matter, like he was the right fit for the role. And
if someone said an Asian
that's
Spider-Man,
a really good example.
That would be cool.
Oh yeah, I think they did do Asian Spider-Man.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, gosh, I didn't even think about that, man. That's a pretty good example. Yeah, he was a white dude. He had like the white hair on the sides, and like he still has the eye patch and stuff. But yeah, they completely changed him around, and I guess to fit more of the actor after a while. Now people just associate bald black guy with Nick Fury for the most part.
He's super identifiable, and now in all the comics and everything, they've changed the character to more reflect Nick Fury from the movies, right?
Yeah.
So because he's cemented that as the character now, right? So because of the portrayal of the character from the actor, it has changed the character into everything, right? Because he's identified now as Nick Fury, and I think it's just because he fits the role. So, but it's just about telling the best story for me, right? And what's going to make the best story and who can portray the character the best. And ultimately, I don't care about anything else other than that. Like, Miles Into the Spider-Verse is the best, maybe the best Spider-Man thing I've watched, right?
Yeah, one of the greatest. What are you gonna say, Kate?
I was just gonna say I do think there could be more diversity when it comes to superheroes, because I think it's important for like kids
Well,
to see.
I mean, a lot of these comics from back in the day were back in the 40s, the 50s.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like the
60s.
time frame of when.
So
yeah.
To see it to be modernized. I mean, look, I think Iron Man is now a woman. Same thing with Thor. So I mean, they're changing, and
Yeah.
I know people are upset with it. Oh, how can Thor be a woman? But it's their content, and if they want to portray a female superhero, why? I mean, it shouldn't. I know what we see and what we always get. It's like it's like change. You can't. They don't want change, but it's like it's nice to see that they are going towards these other demographic and other genders and everything else. It's a fresh take on the character.
Like
That's all it
Loki,
is.
right? There's now female Loki and also bisexual Loki, right?
Yeah.
Which we learn about. So like it's
I mean,
not,
that makes sense. Like Greek mythology, everyone was sleeping with each other, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So they don't, things don't have to be shied away from as much as they are sometimes, right? Like and when people see this stuff, because it's different from the comics or the shows that we got in those day and age when you couldn't talk about anything like that, right? You couldn't, everything was so like, okay, like even the TV shows, like Leave It to Beaver and shit like that, I mean, it's like,
yeah.
Things are so guarded and careful about what you show. You can't actually go into like real issues and real things that are going on and stuff that's like actually happening with real people out in the world. Now things are opened up to where you can actually talk about stuff that actually resonates and hits with people. And sometimes that can maybe come across as like what people say is woke culture or whatever, but it's actually just portraying the world that we live in today. Right. And the accepting that people have over different cultures, different everything. Right. So like the more accepting everybody is of everything, like the better and happier everybody can be. Right. Yeah. Like that's just my personal preference and personal thought is like it just acceptance is a great thing. Right. So and when when it's a fictional character, especially it's easy. These characters are tools to tell stories, right? And you're trying to tell stories to an audience, and the audience you're trying to reach is an audience of today. It's not an audience of the 50s or the 40s, right? This is an audience of today, and if you want to be real, then you're going to tell real stories that are reflective on the world that we live in. And that goes back to all comics, like even the comics when they started, like Captain America, that was World War II times, right? That's why Captain America was written the way he was back then. He was a war soldier in World War II, right? Like it things all go in the time that they are in. So I just like that there's more like diversity with that kind of stuff.
And then like these characters, like those stories still exist, right? We have so many, like Superman has been a character, probably one of the earliest comic book characters. I think Superman is.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even know when he was created. I can't remember.
1934.
1934. So obviously things change. Things have changed since then, and it's over time. Storytelling techniques change over time. These writers have different. It's just like our society has changed. So we always write stories based on our surroundings. So when these artists and writers are creating these stories, they're like Matt was saying, they're just creating things of whatever is around them, right? And what we're seeing a lot more in like media is we are seeing a lot more people start to be represented. They could still do more for sure, but a lot more people are starting to be represented. And what does that mean? That means you're going to start seeing more women lead roles like Black Widow. You're going to see more like Black Panther was huge for like Black people, because we always get just slave movies or like that for the most part. So to see like someone like people Black people be empowered in a way where it's like, oh, we're not just like, I don't know, they call it like this torture, like something always happens to a black person, where if you guys seen the movie like Boston or Chicago, I can't remember, but something empowering, right? Where we're in superhero movie where you get to see T'Challa in Wakanda. This is super cool, and something that's in the comics, right? But we don't necessarily always see it on the screen. So that's how sort of things are changing, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's just really cool. We have so many different interpretations of these characters too. So
Yep.
So
yeah, Steve Rogers still exists.
Yes, he's still a character. You can still like Steve Rogers. He's not being taken away from you just because there's an.
Yes, he is. No, it's gonna.
Yeah, he still exists. He's still alive. He may
He's an
actually,
old man.
He might be dead. Is he dead? He's probably.
He might be.
Actually. But
maybe not. Let's
maybe not. Actually, he might be dead. Oh gosh.
Yeah, I love like Loki, like, and people give crap to Sony. I mean, not Sony, Disney about this because they think a lot of the themes are all like that. But again, you guys are right. Like, it goes back to all movies and stuff. It's not just like a new thing. You know what I mean? Just sometimes they're more, I guess, obvious about it. But like you're talking about X-Men and how it was about race. I figured that out for myself when I was like in my teens. You know, but it's just watching it. It's like, oh, you know what? This is like a lot like the '60s and stuff. You know what I mean? And then I was like thinking about that, and it started like wrapping my head around it. I was like, oh, you know what? Like, this is portraying like how, you know, humans are like accepting and all this kind of stuff. And I put that two and two together. So when you said that one day, because we're talking about X-Men, it was like, oh, that's actually a real thing, because that's what I always just thought. You know what I mean? So that's cool, but you know, this is not a new thing that these things are telling these stories, and I appreciate it. But guys, this has been an awesome night. Thank you to everybody in the chat for hanging out tonight, talking about all this amazing stuff. Loki, dude.
But there's so many topics. Like, I gotta watch Loki. You guys,
bro.
It's really cool. Kate, you gotta watch the first episode. At least watch the first episode. Okay. And but yeah, it's been awesome. We went through a bunch of different characters, like who's the best actor. Actress.
We can do more of those too.
We really could. That's like a huge conversation.
Yeah,
for sure. Transformers as well.
Yeah, man. But hey, babe, since you're our guest tonight, where can everybody find you?
You can find me on Twitter at KaitlinX0615, and you can find me on Xbox Ultimate on Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
Sound like a soundboard.
The mellow fellow from outer space that loves the animation in Beast Wars from the 90s. I'm just kidding.
For real?
No, I'm just kidding.
And Lois, Mama Lois.
Oh yeah, and he loves Lois.
Oh, I just want to make a shout out to Pong. Thank you for the DM. Let's bring back Megan Fox, please. Just saying. And
yeah,
that's all.
I agree. He's like, no.
Anyways, yeah, chat, you guys were on fire tonight. Thanks, Kaitlin, for joining us. It was fun having you on. 3-Bit, it's great to see you. You know, I'm glad that you're back. And Mav, it's awesome that we finally found a home for FunPop, and this is going to be awesome. So you guys can find me everywhere on social media at Psychonauts8 on now Wednesdays at 10 o'clock FunPop. Xbox Ultimate at 9 o'clock Eastern on Fridays. And then you can find me on my YouTube channel, Gamer Chat Podcast. Gamer Chat's one word. You can find me there. I haven't streamed lately. Been dealing with a lot of personal things within family, so I've just been taking it easy lately. But other than that, glad to be doing podcasts with friends and family. So love you guys, and
Love you too.
Aw,
Yeah.
group hug. I love that you guys just did that.
Wait. Psycho's down here for me. So and then Mav is over here for me. So yeah.
no,
And
that's not
KhAos
right.
down-
Good. That's not good of me. That's not good.
Oh my God.
You just-
Man, what do you?
Um, 3-bit,
Hi.
where can everybody find you?
Am I down here?
Are you patting
Patting,
him on the
I'm
head?
Patting.
I'm patting your head. We're giving high fives.
You guys can find me on Twitter at TheVideoGamesHD. My YouTube channel is TheVideoGamesHD. It's been awesome being back on the FunPop. I always love talking comic books. It's my passion. It's what I do. Love that stuff. And it's nice. Oh, wait, who you punched someone else?
Hey.
It's always nice being on shows with you guys. You guys are awesome and family and all that. You guys already know. So that's pretty much where you guys can find me. I'm gonna start posting more game design stuff next week. So that's gonna be a thing. So look out for that on my channel. I'm on several shows. This one, Xbox Factor on Tuesdays. Sometimes Noobs and Pros. Yeah, I'm sure I'm on more, but that's all I can think about right now. So goodbye.
Goodbye. Hey, and yeah, check out this podcast and also Xbox Ultimate on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and more. Also, hey, like these guys said, Xbox Ultimate is Friday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern, and this week we have 2 amazing guests. Yes, Chris Jones, you told me about that Asa was looking to be a guest on some shows, so I just sent him a DM, and hey, he said this week was good. So we're gonna have 2 amazing guests. You are going to be guesting with Asa from Game On Daily on Friday night at 9 p.m. Eastern on Xbox Ultimate Podcast. So we're going to have a blast then, and we're going to talk about all kinds of things, gaming, Xbox, and stuff, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So thank you to everybody in the chat. You guys rock. All the channel members as well. You rock. Yeah, baby?
Chris, you get to be on with Asa.
Yes.
Not
He wants
on
to be
him.
on Asa.
Yeah. So enjoy that. And everybody.
Enjoy being on it.
Yeah. You guys all rock. You all have a great one. And take it easy. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
FunPop.